The 9-10 right now is Chicago Miami. Who you think's winning that?
Man, I'm uh ooh ooh one game
One
toss
game.
up.
Yeah.
Great question. I think the Bulls can beat them on any given night. No cap, but I'm gonna go with Miami. I feel like Tyler Hero will. This is a game. The reason why I love the NBA playoffs for the audience that this is cool why we're talking about it. I think this is why we're talking about it. The playoffs is different, so he's gonna play 45 minutes.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boys over here at Three Man Weave. I'm your co-host CJ here, my lovely co-host ZD. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Man, I'm above ground. You know how I like to say, but I got Kobe on my chest, so I'm feeling great. It's a legendary day, obviously. How you doing, bro? How you feeling? Because our teams haven't played, bro. So
Yeah, no,
it is what it is.
I'm doing good, bro. We both of our teams play tonight, so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But just kind of we were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. It's just been like a great part of the season, man. Like the season has been super dope. We've been keeping up with it all year, being consistent with the pod. So we've kind of seen the progression of how it's been, and it's been super dope being able to do that. With someone else who enjoys it just as much as I do, if not more. So yeah, I've been great, bro.
Giving me high
It's
praise.
yeah, bro. Absolutely. But yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
been good. I'm ready to get into this episode's topics and stuff. So can't wait.
100%. You ready? You ready to talk about this playoff picture, huh? Because there's
Yeah.
like 15 games left, man. So it's starting to get down to the wire. I think for our audience that doesn't know, like this is the time you're gonna see teams resting people, and not really. They're kind of going 75%, right? They got to
Right.
wind down, make sure their players are healthy, and make sure they get through the rest of the season. So yeah, bro, we got an array of topics to talk about, but yeah, man. I guess I'll start off. I think the Lakers are playing the Nuggets tonight, so it's going to be a matchup, bro. I think I was going to allude to the last matchup we had, right? We talked about it on this pod earlier a few episodes ago, but the defense against Jokic, ultimately that's what led us to win that last game. He's been, I would argue, he's been better since then, right? I mean, how do you feel about Jokic's performance like since the game against the Lakers? Because he had 12 points since then. I don't think
Yeah.
he's had 12 points
Yeah, I
since
think
then.
that might have been his lowest scoring game of all the whole season. So yeah, he's been playing at an incredible
Yeah,
levels.
he's like CJ saying, he's been playing at an unimaginable level. I think, bro, Shea's averaging 35 over the last 10 games though, so it's
Yeah.
tough, like
Right.
almost 40. But anyways, besides that, I think Jokic would be obviously the front runner for MVP. So we've got to worry about him. There's really no. He's in the injury report. I send in the notes like he has an elbow issue right now. I
Hmm.
don't really know what's up with that. I think that's more of a rest thing. If you guys don't know, he's kind of the king of getting scratches on his arms, bro. So Jokic be battling constantly, but that's the focus for tonight. Obviously, I think LeBron's still going to be out, so our offense is really going to be it's going to be Luca and Austin Reeves, and we were talking about it before we kind of did the intro, bro. Austin Reeves is him. There's really no other way to say it. Clearly, he's proven himself in the NBA, but what that means is he's got to show up. And in games like this, obviously we have something later coming for you guys, but CJ clearly believe in him. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to have a big game tonight for us to keep this score close. I think the spread is +2, so clearly the odds makers believe in the Lakers and keeping the game close. Being at home, I think it's where we've played our best basketball so far. We're not the best road team, and last time we were able to beat the Nuggets on the road. If you guys don't know, the Nuggets are kind of famously known for their home games and their home record because it's really tough to play in Colorado because of the altitude. So guys just get super tired there. Their legs get heavy. You can't really shoot. So that win against them in Denver was very impressive to me, and hopefully we can replicate that tonight. And I think Jackson Hayes is going to have a big game as well. Um, he continues, we talked about him on the last podcast, but he continues to be because of Luka Doncic, but regardless, he's doing it, 15, 8 rebounds, a block or two. That's what I was asking for. If we can get that out of him, I feel like we can be a solid team. He doesn't have to be Nikola Jokic, but he has to be B or C plus, center. It's not. You're not going to go out there get 0 points. No rebounds, not do anything. He needs to be involved in the game, and I think when Jackson Hayes is involved, we tend to win. As weird as that may sound, if he can keep being a big part of the offense and more importantly the versatility on defense, right? Because like I was alluding to earlier, Dorian Finney-Smith, Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, they kind of have to harass Jokic tonight if we're going to have a chance. I think Jamal Murray, we talked about the stats, we went over it. Since the All-Star break, 30 a game. It's serious, So obviously Jamal Murray can ball. None of us were ever doubting that, but now that he's starting to kind of get back in rhythm, that's another thing you got to worry about as well. Jamal Murray also tends to play better on the road. So we're gonna have to figure out kind of what we can do about Jamal Murray and Jokic going forward. But I think MPJ is another player who's had a great season. He's somebody else we got to kind of have on our scouting report. But ultimately, it's going to come down to defense. Our offense has been playing middle of the pack. I think we're like 15th since the All-Star break. So our offense isn't super potent, and we're missing LeBron. Where we've been amazing in the second half of the year is our defense. So I think that's going to carry us to this W. And hopefully, with Christian Braun being in the game and all these other X factors that the Nuggets have, Russell Westbrook, I want to bring him up as well. He's been amazing. It's
Great.
somebody. We've talked about it on the pod, but the chatter is gone. Clearly, this dude he just recently came off a triple double performance again, so I would say he's showing no signs of slowing down either. So yeah, the Nuggets are pretty dangerous. That is one team I was going to bring up later in our playoff discussion. I don't know if the Lakers are beating them in a series. My goodness,
Mm.
they are very scary, even with LeBron in the lineup. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on how the Nuggets season has gone so far. I know you've talked about Christian Braun at length, but some of those other guys.
Yeah, bro. It's been. I mean, I never counted them out. I still believe that they were contenders. Even at the beginning of the season, just because of Jokic, and it was just kind of
Oh man,
depending on how well the role players can play, and they're playing at a phenomenal level. These really this since a little before the All Star break. They were still winning games. I think they were second at that time. Now they dropped down a little bit to third, but 2 to 6 is really a flag
it's a
race.
bloodbath.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a
Yeah, yeah,
bloodbath,
yeah.
bro. Like it's whoever is able to scrape out with these wins towards the end of the season. But no, yeah, they've been great, man. It's like you said, the only time I saw Jokic struggle at all was the last time they played y'all, and ever since then he's still dropping 30-point triple doubles pretty
Yeah,
much every
he's
game.
been
So
brilliant.
you know,
He's been
uh,
brilliant.
kind of I would like to see how y'all play him since y'all did play him incredible. So it's gonna be a great game. I think y'all. I was gonna bet on y'all to win, and I was like, no, I do player
Uh,
props, but I was gonna
yeah,
bet it.
yeah,
Y'all
yeah,
y'all
yeah.
were like a +100, so I was like, yeah, that's easy money because I think y'all can win, bro. I'm not gonna lie, y'all's defense has been incredibly pretty
Yeah.
much
They
since the
don't
All
double
Star break.
Doncic either.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
they're yeah, and they're not gonna play drop like they're a
yeah.
smart team. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a very close game. But yeah, I can't wait to see that matchup tonight, and it's on ESPN. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one, bro.
And that's another banger from ESPN. I think we were also talking about that too. The games recently have been money.
Hmm.
Every single game to me has been a lot more competitive. Coming down the stretch, guys are resting. I think Shea's out tonight. You'll talk about that in a second. But what Quentin Grimes is doing, what J Dub's going to do. There's a lot of other players that still make the game interesting. So I think if you can watch those, bro, definitely get a chance for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, bro. I guess kind of like going off of that, we play the Sixers tonight, and like you were saying, Quentin Grimes has been going crazy. I think he's been dropping like 40 bombs, 30 bombs, like pretty much ever since
Every game,
all
yeah,
these
yeah.
injuries have been happening. So, I'm not gonna lie, this is a weird take for me, but I kind of want the Sixers to win today because I want us to get that seventh pick in the
I
draft,
can
bro.
see it.
I want that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah,
ahead. I'm like
for
because
sure.
for everyone that doesn't know,
I was gonna ask you about that.
We have the Sixers pick, and it's a top six protected, meaning that if they get a top six pick in this upcoming draft, then they get that pick. But if they drop seven onto whatever lottery 16 or 15, then we get that pick. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of hoping we get a little Quentin Grimes legacy game again against us, because that would be crazy. But like, of course, I wouldn't want to see my team lose. But like, I'm kind of thinking like on a different level of like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you're a different type of.
right, yeah,
You're
just because
evil, bro. You're
because
evil,
because
bro.
I'm like, bro, if they could actually start scraping out these wins and we get a potentially top 10 pick in this draft, that's
That's
gonna.
evil.
And we still have Topic on the bench, so hasn't even played.
See,
He's gonna be
don't even
another.
talk about that. Oh
Yeah.
God,
So I'm thinking,
people just
like
completely forgot.
a thousand IQ plays, So I wouldn't mind seeing the Sixers win, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I just they have Oubre's
Yeah,
out, Lowry's out, Lonnie Walker's out, and Lonnie Walker has been doing really good since he got picked up. I don't know. I'm
should
pretty
have
sure you've
never
been
left
seeing.
the NBA.
Should have never, bro. It blows my
Yeah, like
mind, and he's actually knocking
yeah.
down his threes. I'm not gonna lie, like the Sixers have been bad this year, but like when I watch them, it's like not. It's like a good watch.
I love how you brought that up. They've been doing a good job of getting trash players and trying to figure it out, and that's gonna help them. Like you're saying,
Yes.
that's gonna help
Yeah.
them one
Yeah,
day.
bro. I've been really impressed with Yabusele too. I feel like
Yeah,
every time I watch him play, he's like impacting the
hustling.
game.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they needed. So he might be getting a bag,
They were
honestly.
saying Nick Nurse isn't gonna get fired because of that,
Right.
supposedly.
So, but yeah, no, I think the boys can handle this. I don't, it might be a little competitive first half, maybe, but I think we actually do have Dort's out, J Dub is actually out, and so is Shea, like you
Oh, okay,
mentioned
okay.
earlier. So we have three of our starters out, which it
That's
could,
good though.
yeah, that like we were
They need
talking
the
about
rest.
it. Yeah, we were talking about it, bro. It's been a long season. We're already at 56 wins, pretty much. Essentially, I think we clinched the number one seed
Yeah.
essentially, unless
And
Denver
like the
decides to.
record's not in play or anything crazy, so it's like,
Right.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it should be good. Maybe we'll see Isaiah Joe legacy game or something. 10 threes or some shit like that.
I think
But
I think it'll be good. Like you're
yeah,
saying, Yamasele, they got Clinton Grimes over there giving us 30.
yeah.
Um, I think Isaiah Joe, look for Isaiah Joe, Wiggins, like, is Chet going?
I think Chet's in. Maybe Chet left.
Wow. That would be a good little player prop too. I didn't think about
I
that,
didn't
but
think about
he's
that either.
he's gonna be cooking probably
Hmm.
if he goes. So yeah, I think we haven't talked about it a ton, but you bring up a really good point with the 1,000 IQ, right? It's like deeper than basketball. Sometimes you don't want to win all these games, kind of like the Jazz and tanking and even the Thunder with the investigation and everything like that. Sometimes you want to play it smartly, bro. You don't even. I feel like even if you asked Dagnall or the Thunder organization, oh, you care if you lose tonight, they would probably be like, not really.
Not really. Yeah. I mean, of course, like
Which
you
is
don't want to lose, but like
no,
it's not
no.
really gonna affect the season.
Right. When you're thinking about it in terms of the long haul, like
Yeah.
not really.
Not
So we'll
really.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. So yeah, I think the Sixers have had a dreadful year. Um, but they, like you said, they have some bright young pieces on their team. Obviously, Maxi's out. Like they have everybody out, but
Out, but
um, man, when those guys come back, if they're able to be healthy for even a third of the season, of half of it, I think you're gonna get a lot of juice from the Sixers. So we'll see.
do you think
But
PG is gonna still be on this roster?
yeah, I think
Okay.
he just had a bad year. It's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was tough for him moving to Philadelphia, getting settled, and trying to immediately get 25. Like that's not gonna happen. These
Yeah.
guys are not computers. He's starting to get older too. He's off that injury. It's tough for PG, but they're completely out of the playoff picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
100%.
you know what I'm saying. So it's not. There's no rush for any of those guys to want to be out there. But I think
Yeah. I
next
think I
season
think
is
he's
going to be.
actually out for the season as well. I think I saw that he got
Yep, yep.
he got surgery or something on his shoulder or
Yeah, he
something.
got the injections. I think that's smart, bro. Yeah, do what you need to do to get ready for next year. Hopefully, the Sixers, for them, right? This is not for you, but for them, they want to keep their pick. So they might lose, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no. I want to talk about the playoff picture because I think there's some teams in the plan that it's interesting, bro. I saw the Mavericks in there, bro.
Yeah. Crazy.
I
33
thought
and
that was
36.
fake.
Yeah,
Like they're still going at it.
I guess so.
Good for them. Good for
Yeah.
them. I think we'll probably start off with the East because it's a little less. Um, how do you say this? It's more clear.
Right.
The Western Conference is still up for debate. Um, you have it put up in front of you.
Yeah, yeah, I have it right now. You want to start with
Okay.
the playing?
Yeah, I want to start with the plan, and then we'll work our way up.
Okay. So the 9-10 right now is Chicago Miami. Who you think's winning that?
Man, I'm uh ooh ooh one game
One
toss
game.
up.
Yeah.
Great question. I think the Bulls can beat them on any given night. No cap, but I'm gonna go with Miami. I feel like Tyler Hero will. This is a game. The reason why I love the NBA playoffs for the audience that this is cool why we're talking about it. I think this is why we're talking about it. The playoffs is different, so he's gonna play 45 minutes
Right.
because it's the last. It's an elimination game. So if they go home, like the coach, Spoelstra knows. Oh, we could go home tonight. Everybody plays
Mm.
maximum minutes. There's no breaks. So I think when you're going all gas, no breaks, I'm gonna go with the Heat. They got Tyler Hero, first time All Star this year. He's been awesome. I think they're gonna put the ball in his hands. The Bulls don't really have anybody who can guard him. In a situation where they start doubling, I think Adebayo, there are other pieces like Robinson, Jovic, but Jaime Jaquez, who by
Right.
the way is still on the Heat roster and pretty
Hmm.
solid. The Bulls don't really have anybody that can contain that
Andrew
team. So
Wiggins.
yeah, Wiggins. I think Wiggins. We'll have to see how impactful he is in the playoffs. I worry that Spoelstra doesn't trust him yet, but I think he's gonna roll out Kevin Love. He's gonna roll out the guys. So give me them in a toss up. But the Bulls, like we talked about them on the last pod, bro. Uzeli, Kobe White, Giddy. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
If you don't take it serious, the Bulls will definitely sneak in a W. So I love this matchup, man. I think, man, the playoffs is going to be so good, but I'm going to watch every single game pretty closely. I think it's really hard starting in the plan, though, to kind of keep track with everything because it starts kind of quick and the games
Mm.
happen fast. Like, one night it's over for one team, but the next day or in 2 days they play again, the team that
Right.
won. So
Yep.
it's like it's a very quick turnaround with that. But yeah, give me the Heat.
Okay.
Give me the Heat. Give me the
Heat.
Heat.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that one. I think the
Okay.
Bulls, like you said, can beat them any given day, but I think come playoff time, like
Yep.
playoff atmosphere, I think Miami
40
can.
minutes.
40
Yeah.
minutes. Spoelstra on the other side. He's going to scheme, how to stop Giddy, stop, Kobe White.
Kobe White. Right.
Yeah, I think
Uzeli.
it's gonna, and I think they just Miami has that experience as well. They're
Ah, I didn't bring that. That's a
they
great
made
point.
they made it to the finals. 2 years ago. They've been competing pretty much for the past 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean? I think
They know
they'll
what to
scrape out
do. Right.
exactly. So you have Miami advancing. Okay, so they would be
Yeah.
playing the winner out of these two teams, Atlanta and Orlando.
Currently, dude, I hate to do this to Orlando. I'm going with the Hawks. You might even agree. I'll probably hear your take in a second, but give me Trey Young, the league leader in assists, and then give me. I feel like the Magic aren't experienced as well. The Hawks, again, they've been here before. The Magic had that series against the Cavs last year and kind of got booted out. They got really tired. Um, I feel like Trey Young, when he's initiating the offense, he can be really special. Obviously, missing Jalen Johnson, right? But I think Dyson Daniels is going to be. This is the time where, okay, okay, man, we tossed the ball up 40 minutes, right? So you stick him on Paolo Banchero, 40 minutes, right? Like I'm
Hmm.
saying, like imagine this. This is this is for all the marbles. Essentially, you're trying to get into the playoffs. Give me Dyson Daniels on Paulo Banchero. I think he's gonna get locked up, and then Franz is out. The Magic don't really have a ton of other pieces that are gonna be doing much. Suggs is out too, unfortunately. So yeah, I think the Hawks. This is where they can shine. Do I think they get bounced in the first round for sure? But
Yeah.
I think you're looking at I think you're looking at the Magic versus the Heat.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree, bro. I think we've been talking about Atlanta a decent amount with Trey Young and Dyson
Man,
Daniels and stuff. So I feel like with a player like Trey Young, and I think also just more so going to Orlando, I guess, I don't think that their offense is good enough for them to win, to beat the Hawks, because I think the Hawks offense is just more fluid and it's easier to beat a team.
yeah,
Like they're not the greatest on the defensive side, Atlanta, but I don't think that Orlando could keep up with the points, the scoring department. They
exactly.
might be able to get a couple stops, but when it comes down to it, they've been. I think we talked about it earlier in the season. There's moments where they're just very stagnant, and whenever Paolo's not in, it kind of looks they look a little lost. So I would give it to Atlanta as well, advancing to the
Yeah.
next
And like you
round of.
said, Trey Young can command a game in the playoff atmosphere. Give me Trey Young. Even if he's going to be doubled, he knows what to do. Paolo, I think they're just too young too, man. They're close though, bro. I think
They're
if they
so
were fully
close. They're
healthy,
so
give me the
close.
Magic. If they're fully healthy, give me the Magic. But
Yeah.
if the Hawks are fully healthy too, they're dangerous, man. Jalen, like they're solid, and
Hmm.
um, they've been sneaky good. I think you've continued to love on Trey, and for good reason. And I think in a situation like this is where he kind of shines.
Hmm. I agree, sir. So advancing on to the next round to see who gets the eighth seed in the Eastern Conference would be Atlanta versus Miami. Who do you got in that matchup?
Ooh, this is another tough one too. I didn't realize like this segment is gonna take a second because I'm gonna have to think about it because some of these, man, ooh, one game too. Give me the Heat. Give me the Heat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with the Heat on this one. I think this is another situation where I believe in Spoelstra and the experience. Give me Tyler Hero another 40 minutes of again, and then Atlanta's defense is porous, kind of. I don't think they would double. I don't know if Dyson Daniels. I think Dyson Daniels can slow down Hero, but the other pieces, um, the Hawks don't have the personnel. That's the word to handle that. And
Mm.
I truly believe in Spoelstra's ability to lead a group of men. As weird as that sounds, and I feel like he, with the experience that he has, with his resume, I feel like once again in a do or die situation, give me the Heat. But that's a tough matchup. I believe the
It
Hawks have
is.
been better offensively for sure, but the Heat are another. They're closer to the Hawks offensively than the Magic are.
Hmm.
It's another thing. And then defensively, they're better. So I got
Yep.
to go with them. That's probably the simplest explanation I can give. But in terms of, complexity, the Heat have better players. Like I said, Hawkes, Jovic, Love. They have players who have been around the block or two. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the Hawks in that situation, they may not have the size to be able to deal with the Heat too.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I agree, bro. I feel like that's gonna be one of those really good games, honestly. Like I think
Yeah,
all these games are going to be
all of
great,
them.
but I think like you were saying, the Heat's offense isn't as good as Atlanta's, but the Heat's defense is better than Atlanta's. So it's like I think it's gonna probably be like a close game. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it'd be a blowout. I don't think you know I just worry about how well like Tyler Harrow is going to be able to play. You know what I mean? Like not saying that he can't because obviously we've seen him be able to be great in the playoffs, but this whole season has been very streaky. You know what I mean? There's moments
Yeah,
where he
yeah,
goes
he's
off,
super
he'll
streaky.
drop 30 and 10 and the next game he's like 18 or something,
Dude,
18
he
and
had
5.
10 triples against the Pistons in the play-in.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like sometimes he goes for these games where he has 50 or
Mhm.
45 points or something.
Mhm.
So it depends on the juice you get from him. I think so the Trey Young versus Miami thing is real too. Trey seems to really struggle against Miami's defense. I don't know why, but the size just really bothers him. But Tyler Hero being on the other side, like you're saying, it's kind of up to what he can do. If he gives you 30, you're probably gonna win the game. But
Right.
if he can't do something, then it's got to be up to Bam and
Yep.
Jaquez.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. But I'm not mad at that, bro. So we got Miami, the 10th seed, advancing on to go against. You want to do the the next matchup.
Yeah, yeah.
So the next matchup will be Cleveland versus Miami. What are we thinking?
We already know, man. This is a gentleman's sweep or a sweep.
Right.
We're gonna keep
I
it
agree.
simple.
Yeah. Feel like we don't need to go too deep into
Cavs
some of
are,
these.
yeah, well, yeah, but the Cavs they've had the best season since LeBron has left. Um, Net rating, they've gone on multiple winning streaks. They're clearly the better team far and away. And in this matchup, again, they don't have the Heat don't have the personnel to be able to handle what Ty Jerome, Struce,
DeAndre
Sam
Hunter.
Merrill, DeAndre Hunter, Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, all those dudes. It's
Yeah.
just so much. So it's a sweep.
Yeah. I agree. All right. So we got Cleveland advancing. The next matchup would be Boston versus. Oh shit! Hold up. I fucked this up.
Yeah,
I think so. Hold on.
because no, the Heat. I thought the Magic. So since they were already above the Heat, they would play the
Are they
Heat.
this?
So and then the Hawks would move up because they won that. Like they're
Oh
already.
fuck! Yeah, I fucked this up
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it'd be Orlando versus Miami then, right?
Yes. Yes. But that's fine. That was only one. It wasn't like we were deep
Yeah,
into it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
So it would be. I'm still taking the Heat though.
so Atlanta moves up to 7. So they're
Right. Oh,
got you. So
they're
the
solid.
Magic and Miami would be going against each other to see who goes against Cleveland then. So who do you think?
Yes.
Do you still think
But
Miami?
still the Heat. Yeah.
Got you.
I think Orlando or the Hawks. They don't stand. Honestly, in my opinion, if Tyler Hero, like you said, can show up, they don't stand a chance. I'll be honest right now.
Right, I agree.
I'll be honest right now. Like
Hmm.
the Magic, the way that I think, like CJ was saying, they've had an amazing year, bro. But at some point, it just comes down to health. They're just not healthy. They don't have the personnel. If Tyler Hero can get 25, like the Magic are in a world of hurt because the Heat
Hmm.
can score 110, 115 points. And like CJ was saying earlier, the Magic can give you 100, maybe.
Right, maybe. Yeah,
And that's, if Paolo's doing well. So
got
yeah,
you.
dude. I
So
think Hawks or it was gonna be quick either way. But
right,
I'm
right.
glad you caught that because I
Yeah, I
was
was
like,
like,
I
hold
was thinking
up.
about that too.
Yeah, yeah. I got you now. I got you for the Western Conference. So
Okay,
we
bet,
still
bet.
have Cleveland advancing because you think Orlando would lose to Miami, which makes Miami
Yeah.
the 8th seed, and then that'd be one
Anyway,
versus eighth. Anyways, so
yeah,
the 7th seed, I guess, the next matchup would be Boston versus Atlanta.
Atlanta. This is the one. This is the one. I think Jalen Johnson is he out for the season? Can you look
I think
this up for me?
I'm pretty sure he is, but yeah, I
He's
got
done
you.
for the year. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay. If he's not done for the year, I thought there was a chance he might come back, but I could be wrong. This is why I bring this up. I think when Atlanta gets to a point in the playoffs where they face the Celtics or the Cavs, they need Jalen Johnson. If they don't have Jalen Johnson, they're not gonna win these games.
he's
It's
out for
that
the season.
simple. Yeah. So yeah, I don't normally. I think in a couple months ago when they were healthy, bro, the Hawks
They play this the
they play the
Celtics very
Celtics
well,
very well.
very well.
I think it would have been a 6 game series probably, but still the Celtics. But the Celtics are so dominant, bro, and I think they have a chance to go to the NBA Finals. So I'm not. I don't think they would lose. I think it's a 5 game series. I think Trey Young can get you 2 games. We've seen it in Boston. We've seen him what he can do in the Garden. I don't think the Celtics can guard point guards very well for some reason.
Hmm.
Missoula just refuses to acknowledge that they are the most skilled players on the court. So Trey Young can get 30, 40. Like we've seen him do it at the Garden before because Missoula doesn't really care. I kind of like that, honestly. He's kind of like, whatever. Like if
Yeah,
you can, we're still going to win the game. He said it
right.
before. So I think Trey can win you 2 games, but it's most likely a 6 game series or 5 game series. Like they'll
Got
be done.
got you. And then we these are where they get a little interesting. We
Sticky,
have
yeah. Yeah.
the 36 matchup, New York Knicks versus Detroit. What are you thinking on that?
This is tough, but I'm still going with the higher seed. But I think Detroit. It's a 6 game series, bro. Solid. I'm going. Detroit gives you 2 wins.
Yeah,
No BS. I think their defense, Bickerstaff is a great coach. He's been in the playoffs before. He knows how to get them riled up. I think The Knicks can go super cold too. They're a very streaky team as well. And I think the Thompson twin is going to be on Brunson, so we'll see how he can deal with that. I don't know if you're going to get playoff Brunson right out of the gate. I think they're going to double and make him uncomfortable. They're going to make Cade uncomfortable as well. We'll see how he deals with that too. I don't think Cade Cunningham has been in a position to see playoff atmosphere, and Jalen Brunson has pretty much since he was on the Mavericks. So give me the Knicks. Obviously, I think the Knicks will win the this matchup, but it's gonna be something, especially when they play in Detroit. We'll see how they play on the road because I think it's gonna be those playoff games in Detroit are gonna be loud, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They skipped the plan, bro. They went right to the playoffs. The Knicks are obviously a finals contender, but I think the team that they've built around Cade is built to take on a team like this. Malik Beasley firing away from three, Tobias Harris. If they get hot, who knows what can happen, man?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
Yeah,
think about this matchup?
I was about to say. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I think that might.
Yeah.
This might be one of those series that could potentially go seven. Honestly, that's kind of what I was
Wow,
thinking. I think Pistons just they obviously they
that's
lack
a bold
playoff
take.
experience, but I think the Knicks obviously we don't know what they're gonna be at that time, but
What
we've been
version?
talking
Yep, yep.
right because we've
The
been talking
minutes.
about the minutes, wear and tear, not saying more than likely damn near everybody has some type of injury. You know what I mean? Not everyone's gonna be
Yeah,
100%
yeah,
healthy, but I think just the way that Detroit plays is exactly how the Knicks play too. Like very aggressive, physical. They're gonna grit and grind, dive for balls, and like you said, it's gonna be
yeah,
loud in the was it Little Caesars Arena?
yeah,
It's gonna be loud in there, bro. They
yeah.
haven't seen any playoff basketball for at
It's the
least like
Palace,
almost
like
a
you said.
decade. You know?
Yes, it's still that. It's still Detroit basketball, like you said. It's Detroit. Like they haven't
Yeah.
changed a bit, man. I think they could have, again, like you said, last year, try to rebrand, get rid of the Little Caesars Arena, stop believing in what they've tried to build, but they're right here.
hmm But I still do think the Knicks will be able to scrape out that win.
Yeah.
I just
Oh
think
yeah.
Jalen Brunson, Cat, OG
That.
Ananobi, yeah, like it's just
McCall Bridges,
exactly. They have all these players that have been in situations like this before, and I think
Josh Hart.
experience will definitely play a factor into that series. But I think it'll be probably a lot closer than what some people think. Like you were saying, like at least six. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be surprised at a 7 game series.
Wow, and if it's a 7 game series, the Knicks are in a world of hurt
Mm-hmm.
because that's max minutes. The game seven. Let's say it gets to a game seven, CJ, like you're saying. Brunson's going 48. Like people are gonna play all game,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been playing all season. It just gets so hard. So we'll see. That's a great one though. Wow, what a matchup, bro.
Hey, this next one is also a banger of a matchup as well. We got
In the East
Indiana
too.
in the East, Indiana versus Milwaukee.
Ooh, we give me Milwaukee, man. But this one's going seven. I think the Pacers are a much better. I just my issue with them is they still haven't proven to me that they have the team to really go to the next level. I think even in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics this past year, like they just weren't ready. And I think Giannis and Dame, Doc Rivers, they've had a year under their belt. I think this is the time where you're going to see, you know, how dangerous those guys really are. And the Pacers can't double both of them. And so I feel like when you have Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, two proven first ballot Hall of Famers on the team, it's going to make it very difficult to get past. Honestly, it's a roster that's pretty dependent on Tyrese Halliburton. And then if they don't hit shots, the Pacers are cooked. But they're going to get out and run. They're going to compete, and they've already given the Bucks a ton of trouble in the past, and they've done it this season. So don't count them out. That's why I say this is another 7 game series most likely as well, because I think the Pacers in the Field House, which is another scary arena to go play at. Yeah, the Pacers are probably going to win 2 home games. I
Yeah.
think the Bucks win one road game, one, and that might be. You know what? I think if it's a game seven, it'll be in Milwaukee. So never mind. But because they have the higher seed, or no, 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 it might
No,
be the
in
Pacers.
India, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Pacers.
Sorry, it'll be in the Indiana. So yeah, if they win a game on the road, it'll most likely be the seventh
Mm.
Milwaukee. But
Okay.
the field house, yeah, I think Tyrese Halliburton's here. I think he's healthy. He looks good. He's playing differently, but he's looking to get guys involved. And I think Andrew Nemhard, Benedict Mathurin, McConnell, they've all been there, Toppin. They've all been there. Miles Turner. So it's definitely if the Bucks rest on their laurels, they're going to be bounced. This is a sneaky one, but I'm going with the upset.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I like that. I think the Bucks could beat them. I think it would be a
Going with
seven
yep.
game series, but that because bro, yeah, we talked about it last time. Whenever Giannis dropped or he got the franchise record or whatever, he was trying to get the ball,
Yeah,
and there's animosity between these teams. Like it's been like that
they
for
don't
the
like each
past.
other.
They don't. So I think that's gonna be a real good matchup. But I think Milwaukee will be able to scrape out the dough just because of Giannis and like you said, Dame, bro. They've been. I think
We
they have
got
enough
we got
star.
Boston, Knicks, Milwaukee.
Yep. So it would be uh Cleveland versus Milwaukee.
Yep.
Who do you think would be win that series?
I'm going on Cleveland. I'm going with the team that's shown me who they are the entire year. We said this before. We've said it on previous pods. This is where it's going to get fun because obviously you know this too. This is where you see who's a finals contender and who's just here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when the Cavs are on that stage, they're going to be ready. Donovan Mitchell's a proven playoff performer. The Bucks don't have the personnel to guard everybody. They can double Donovan Mitchell, but Darius Garland, there's other weapons on the court that make it really difficult for them to do so. I think Giannis gets his. I think Dame struggles here, and that's why
Mm.
they lose. I think
Okay.
Damian Lillard has issues against the Cavs' size, DeAndre Hunter, the length that they have on the perimeter, and that's ultimately going to decide the series. When you look at who's won the finals in the last couple of years, what do they have? Great 3-point shooting, great defense, but they have wing defenders. They have guys who can go both ways, two-way players. I think outside of the Jokic finals run, really, the Nuggets didn't really have like a two-way player. Jamal Murray's pretty one way. Jokic is pretty one way too, but just the dominance that they had in that regard is probably the only team that wasn't really built that way. But everybody else, the Thunder, the Celtics, the Cavs, right? They're built a certain way because they don't have Jokic, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that speaks to the finals recipe, and the Bucks aren't built that way. So the Cavs have been, I think, second in net rating all year behind the Thunder. They're a proven great team. There's no doubt about it in my head. So I'm picking a great team over a team who's coming off a game seven, games 6 games most likely. The Cavaliers are coming off a sweep that rested 5 games maybe. So give me the Cavs.
No, yeah, I agree, bro. I think the Cavs are like we've been talking about all season. They were pretty much the team that is going to be competing with the Celtics all season, and I think they'll be able to. I think they'll be able to beat Milwaukee, bro. Like you said, Giannis is going to get his as expected, but even then, I still think the size and the length of the Cavs, bro. Like it's not going to be as easy as it is against any other team for Giannis to be able to do the things he usually does. But I still think
Exactly.
he's going to go crazy. But like you said, I'm kind of relying on not even just Dame, but like AJ Green and Gary Trent. These type of players that are good, but when you have elite defenders pretty much everywhere on the court, it's going to be a lot harder to be able for these role players to get to what they've been doing all season long. But
Right. Get to their
I
spots, get to where they're efficient,
right.
be something impactful.
But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think the Cavs will damn. So Cavs Eastern Conference Finals. So the next one then, Boston versus New York.
Yeah, this is where we see where the Knicks are made of, right? Um uh I think they'll get to the semis, but this is where we talk about the rest, the impact that it has. I think this series goes 6 though. I think they give the Celtics a run for their money, but I've got to pick the Celtics here, and this is what we've talked about all year. Here it is. When we do the March Madness bracket, it's like, you talking mess about your team all year, but this is where they walk the walk. So, yeah, I think the Celtics, what they can do on the perimeter, and then the way that they bomb away from three, and how you play their style of basketball. That's what the Celtics gets you to do is they they force you to play the way that the Celtics want to play, and I don't think the Knicks have that type of dominance over the Celtics skill set and what they're trying to do offensively. But more importantly, the Celtics defense is 10 times better than the Knicks defense,
Mm.
and I think it's going to show in that series. And I think Porzingis will be out there, and all these dudes. You're like, what the hell? Like, where was this dude all year?
Yeah,
And so it's just going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. So the
yeah,
Celtics have the luxury of resting somebody like Porzingis, paying him to play in the playoffs, essentially.
yeah. No, yeah, bro, I agree. I just think the Celtics are just gonna outmatch the Knicks. The like you said, the way that they've been playing, and the fact that, like you said, they're gonna speed them up. They're probably gonna try to, oh, let's see if they can shoot as many threes as we
Yeah,
can. See if they can knock it
they're
down
not even
around.
going to double Brunson. So,
Nah, I don't think.
like you're
Yeah.
saying, they're just going to play their style of basketball. They're going to beat you.
Hmm. So Eastern Conference Finals, we've been talking about it all season, sir. Cleveland versus Boston. Who do you got?
Hey, this series is going 7 games. 7 games. I'm going with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Really?
NBA Finals bound. First time without LeBron James in their franchise history. I think it's a story to be written. I think they can write their own story here. The reason I think they beat the Celtics is because I think this is where the Celtics wear down and they're forced to play another brand of basketball. We've seen the Cavaliers be a team all year that we can believe in, but we saw it against the Celtics on the road in the Garden. When they get behind Donovan Mitchell, it takes them places that honestly we just haven't seen another team go to other than the Thunder. Other than the Thunder, I don't think the Celtics can achieve that brand of basketball this year. It's not to say that they can't win this series. I think they totally could. I think it's going to be a coin flip, but I'm putting my belief in the Cleveland Cavaliers this year. I think they'll be the Eastern Conference champions. I think Donovan Mitchell will be the Eastern Conference Finals MVP.
Mm.
Um, he's somebody that in the playoffs he's a riser. He's always done so for Utah, and he continues to do so for the Cavs. At this point, it's kind of it's up to them, man. It's up to them how far they want to go. I think Kenny said that before already. So the cards are out there. If Evan Mobley can do this, bro, you can go really far. To be honest, that's the only person they were really waiting on. But I think
Mm-hmm.
Darius Garland too. It's up to him as well. Who's he going to be in the playoffs? Is
Mm-hmm.
that somebody we can trust? Can he be a Jaylen Brown type impact? You don't have to go out there and win a Finals MVP, but damn it, you got to give me 20. You got to give me 8 assists. You got to not turn the ball over. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
hear what you think, bro.
I was about to say, bro, this is. I mean, we've been talking about it all. We've been talking about it all season long. That we've been kind of expecting it to be at this point, and dude, I'm still like back and forth with it. I just don't know. You know what I mean? Because both of these teams have been playing at a fantastic level all season long, and we've seen these moments where the Celtics, like the last game they played, they were up by 20, whatever it is, and Cleveland comes back and oh, bro, this like you said, this is dead ass like a coin flip. I'm not gonna lie to you,
It's so
but
crazy. I'm so glad we're talking about it because I think it deserves the time that we're putting into it.
yeah,
So it's so tough.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I think the Celtics win. I think I
Oh
I
no.
know, bro. I know. I just like you were talking about Darius Garland, the Evan Mobleys, like the players that
Questions. Yep.
yeah, questions, and I think we obviously we have questions about the Celtics as well. It's not like they're the most perfect team, but I think we've seen their players step up in the big moments, the Derek Whites, the Peyton Pritchards, these type of players that aren't even starters are able to impact the game, and I think we haven't seen that with Cleveland yet. I hate to bring up the experience because that's obviously something that has been held against my team all season long, but I think that will probably be the deciding factor in this series. And I think the
Dang it.
I think the Celtics win in
I
7,
hate the
bro.
Celtics so much,
I
dude.
know,
I literally,
bro.
I am, like, I am never ever like, ugh, gosh.
I know.
But I know, dude, they've been amazing, and I
Yeah.
think Tatum in a series like this is gonna get his. I think there's question marks even with Mitchell a little bit, depending on how they want to guard him. I think this is where Joe Mazzulla would double, right? Like he doesn't double all, he magically doubles Donovan Mitchell all of a sudden, and it kind of makes you like, oh no, like you're
Right.
saying, like we don't have the 35 points anymore. That was there earlier this year. What can we do from there? And the Celtics do have a lot of answers to those questions that have been proven. We'll see.
We'll
I
see.
think we'll see on the western side. I know in my opinion who I have the finals matchup in my head that I've chosen already, so I already know. But for
Mm.
the audience, I think it's going to be cool to walk through how we did because yeah, how the Cavaliers or the Celtics are going to get there in our opinion, it's going to be a long journey, but they can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, they can,
Yeah.
man. But all right, going into the Western Conference now. This is where it gets very, very interesting. So we have the 9-10 first play-in match, Sacramento versus Dallas.
This is so cool that Dallas is here too. I just want to shout them out. Like I was telling you, like somehow, right? We're talking
Somehow.
about them. If they can get AD back or something, I think they shut him down for the year. So even if they are in this game, they may just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm gonna go with the Kings though strongly too, and I'll give you a few reasons why. I think DeRozan, Levine, and Sabonis are just too much. I think this is a game actually where Sabonis plays well too. But they don't. The Mavs don't have a big right now that can handle that.
Mm-hmm.
No Gafford, no Lively, no like. There's really nobody on their roster who's gonna box him out or be a problem for him. So
Mm-hmm.
look for Sabonis to have a big game if this were to be the matchup. But I think the Kings have been a more cohesive unit throughout this year. The Mavericks have just been in shambles. I think the injury to Kyrie, the Luka trade, it's really tough on your psyche. And like you're saying, they have a ton of experience, but this is where something like your experience doesn't really matter. They don't have an experience without Luka,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you're saying, like it's like if Jason Tatum got traded, you wouldn't say that about the Celtics,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's kind of like that. Like the experience you had is not really there anymore.
Right.
You got to restart from a new page. So
Mm-hmm.
in doing so, I think that's why the Kings would win. Do I think the Kings are going to make a run? I know you don't think so either. No, but I think they can win you a game when it matters most. And I think give
Mm-hmm.
me DeMar DeRozan in a clutch period or something like that, where it's within five. It's like, bro, like, yeah, I'm going with those two all stars. They've proven Zach Levine has been great for them. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
he's been what he was doing on the Bulls. He's doing for them. That's exactly what they needed. They kind of just swapped places with Fox, but um, the Kings have been a more cohesive team. So give me the Kings. But it's cool to see the Mavericks still doing something. My goodness.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you, bro. I think the main thing for me, they just don't have a big that would be able to stop
Yeah,
Sabonis.
yeah.
So I think he's gonna feast. But like you said, DeRozan has been great all season long in the clutch and even just in general. You know what I mean? Especially going to the Kings, it does seem like are they just traded for some players, but like they look like they're kind of gelling pretty well for the most part.
Already, yeah,
And I
it
feel
makes
like that
sense.
that
Yeah,
probably has some part to do with like DeRozan and Levine playing in
yeah,
the Bulls
yeah.
together, and they've had that chemistry before. So yeah, I think the Kings win this one as well. I just don't think the Mavs have enough to be able to stop them.
And like you're saying, the Kings have been like they've been in the playoff picture all year. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they've really dropped out of the 10 all the way up until I think they were at the 7 seed at one point earlier this year, 6 seed,
Mm-hmm.
something crazy. But yeah, they're always going to be there, right? That's kind of annoying about the Kings. They never get a high draft pick because they're always somewhere at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
But they're
sir.
gonna they're gonna probably be in the playoffs.
All right. So the next matchup, this next play in Minnesota versus the Clippers. Who do you think?
Yeah, this is a tough one because both teams are kind of very evenly matched, and it's one game. I think if we toss it up though, and Randall's in the picture, give me the Timberwolves, baby. Um, I think the Clippers' experience here, it says a lot about James Harden, Kawhi, yes, Norman Powell. There's some threats, but I think the Timberwolves are a young, spry team that their defense has been solid all year. The Clippers play good defense as well, but I think they do have the bodies to be able to deal with the Zubac or the length that the Clippers have to offer. I think they're a bit bigger than the Clippers as well, so I think James Harden will kind of struggle in this game. Look for Ant to kind of take over here and be the guy, but yeah, if the Timberwolves are in the plan, and I was going to bring this up when we talked about them, I don't think they will be. Their schedule is very easy. They should win a
Mm-hmm.
lot of games. This is one
Mm-hmm.
of the matchups that might change, and we had in our notes kind of talking about it. I don't know if the Timberwolves will be in this spot.
Right.
Um, but the Clippers, it's a bit of a different story. They've kind of fallen off a little bit. They've cooled off definitely a little bit, but yeah, I'd have to take the Timberwolves right now.
I agree. So going into the next one to see who plays against us, actually, Clippers versus Sacramento.
Give me the Clippers. I think the Clippers here, again, when you remove the length that the Timberwolves had, the Kings don't have very good defenders. And that's one thing that they've struggled with all year is their defense. And I think this is where it's going to come in to hurt them because the Clippers can guard. And that's why defense is so important in the playoffs. And it's not to say that the Clippers are happy they're going to be facing the Thunder. I mean, we'll talk about that in a second, but I think they get to the playoffs. I think the Clippers are a playoff team, and the Kings are going to come up short again. Um, and yeah, the Kings are going to have to look to figure out what they want to do with their future because
Mm-hmm.
messing around in the plan isn't something that you want to be known for unless you're the Miami Heat somehow.
Right.
But yeah, I gotta go with the Clips. I think James Harden having more of a free kind of spot to operate and being, probably not doubled, not, he's not going up against a long wing defender, Jay McDaniels. He's going to have a feast against a team like the Kings. Pick and roll, Zubac, Kawhi, Norman Powell. Give me that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I just think the Clippers, like you said, the Kings have been their whole thing all season just has been their defense, and I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of players in this league that could stop a player like Harden. And then also, we didn't even talk about it until you just brought him up, but Kawhi as well. We don't know
Yeah.
really know what we're gonna get from him, but I think just them two alone, or not even them, just them two. I would say Harden and Zubac alone could probably
Yeah, no, for
beat the
sure.
Kings just by themselves alone, not
Yeah,
just knowing
yeah.
what Kawhi can contribute. So I think we'll probably be going against the Clips, but yeah, kind of just going into that then 1 versus 8, OKC versus the Clippers. Who do you think would win that one?
Yeah, I think this series might be 5 or 6, but the Thunder is still going to be fine. Um, they've proven they're the best team in the NBA pretty much all year. Um, Defensively, they're the best team that we've had in this era. So the Clippers are going to have to deal with a healthy Chet Holmgren and a healthy Shea and a healthy J Dub, and I think it's just too much. Um, they don't have a player on their roster that is like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who can truly take over a game whenever he wants to. I think Kawhi and James Harden were once that at a time, but they're not that anymore. And in a playoff game, that's super valuable to have. So, also Shea used to play for the Clippers, so there's going to be some, they're going to try to get him back
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, no,
So,
yeah, I agree.
under all the way.
Thunder and 5.
Thunder and five.
Thunder and 5, bro.
All
I don't
right,
know.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you explained it very well though. I think it is gonna be like you said, the Clippers are a playoff team. They've been playing great all season. Harden, that's kind of been his thing, just seeing if he would be able to perform in the playoffs. And that's the thing I hate seeing as for one an OKC fan, which made me a James Harden fan in return. But that has been his thing pretty much throughout his whole career. Is he hasn't been. We get moments, but it's never a whole series or even the whole playoffs. Like he's very streaky and he has his moments where he'll drop 50 and then there's other moments where he will score 10.
Does it do
So
anything? Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think we'll be able to take care of them. Like I said, I think Thunder and 5 for sure.
Solid. Yeah, I like that take. I believe in what the Thunder have been doing all year. It speaks to the type of team that they have. I think they have the experience too, so
Mm.
they're ready.
Going into this next one, man, and this obviously more than likely is probably going to change as of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
recording. But two versus seven, Houston versus Minnesota. Who do you got in that one?
This one going 6 for sure. Um, I'm gonna take the Timberwolves again. My goodness, I believe in their experience. I think if Randall's healthy, they are a team to be reckoned with, and it's just something that not a lot of teams have seen all year because he hasn't been healthy. But the Rockets don't have the experience, and they don't have a player that, in my opinion, can take over. They're still lacking that, you know. Like I don't think Alperen Şengün, no offense to him, is an Ant type of player in the playoffs. Um, I think they do have, a Thompson twin who again is going to be absolute hell to deal with for Ant. And he's going to figure that out over the series, over the course of a few games, and he's going to kind of settle in, and they're going to figure out ways to get him open. So I think the Timberwolves, bro, like they're kind of a dark horse in this situation like this because I think the Rockets have had a great year all season, but they're a team that I have a lot of questions with when it comes to the playoffs and what they've done. They haven't been there in a long time, and that roster is very young, so we'll have to see. I think the experience that the Timberwolves have, and now mixing Julius Randle's experience into the picture, being in the playoffs and then consistently being able to show up in the playoffs, that's something you got to prove you can do. And I think the Timberwolves have players that have done that before. I also think both defenses are going to be strong, so it's going to depend on how much teams can score, and I got to give that to the T-Wolves as well.
Yeah, no, yeah, bro, I agree. My main thing with Houston, like you said, is probably the experience, and like I said, I hate doing that, but I just think with a player like Ant, they just made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. I don't know if they have enough to stop him. You know what I mean? In that team,
I don't think they do.
and I don't know if they'll. Who I think, like you said, we've had a lot of questions, especially playoffs, but during the season, who is going to be the Houston Rockets guy? You know what I mean? And I don't
Right,
know if
Jalen Green.
J-
Yeah, yeah.
Sengun, who are we going to get? Like maybe Thompson twin is going to go crazy in the playoffs, but like we just don't know. So I think
You need
Minnesota,
a
like you,
guy.
yeah, I think Minnesota is going to, like you said, be a dark horse in this playoffs, especially depending on their seed and stuff, they could potentially be higher. But as of what we're looking at right now, yeah, I think Minnesota could beat the Timberwolves for sure.
Yeah, that was one where I was, or Minnesota can beat the Rockets. That was one where I was like, man,
Yeah, Minnesota.
that's
I said
not.
Minnesota beat the Timberwolves. I'm dead.
I,
You do it, man. You do it.
yeah, but it's just like, bro, like that matchup's gonna be dangerous for Ime for sure.
Hmm.
I would not want to face the Timberwolves if I were the Rockets for sure.
Right.
I'd rather
Eh.
face the Clippers or something.
Hmm. Going into the next matchup, then, man, we have Denver versus Golden State.
Give me Jokic, but man, this one should go 6 or 7 too. I think Jimmy Butler, with his ability in the playoffs, that's going to give them enough juice. The Warriors enough juice, that is, to be able to allow Steph to have the freedom to give you 25 or 30, and that's scary for the Nuggets. But when you have a player like Nikola Jokic who's proven, he just can't be guarded. If they want to double, that's fine. The Nuggets have guys that can knock down threes. They don't double, that's fine. Jokic is going to feast. The Warriors also lack what? A center.
Center.
So he's gonna be able to really do damage on the inside, and I think that's ultimately what's gonna win them the series. But if the Warriors get hot from three, bro, and they will, the Nuggets are going to lose, and they might lose 2 or 3 games.
Hmm.
So they got to be careful because I think this series could go 6 or 7 as well. I'm giving it to them because of the dominance that they have on the offensive side. But if they don't play enough defense, I think Jimmy Butler gives you 140-point game or something. That series could flip too. My
Hmm.
goodness. If Jimmy
Yeah.
Butler decides to drop 50, then we're going to have different conversations because that's going to put fear into Mike Malone. You're going to have to like so this is where, God forbid I say this, but in the playoffs, Mike Malone, if Jimmy Butler comes out, let's say game 3 gives you 48 points, in game 4, you can't double anybody. Curry and Jimmy, they're gonna have free reign to do whatever they want to do because if you double one of them, it's gonna be a nightmare. because they're
Mm-hmm.
all out there at the same time. So yeah, we're gonna have to see. But I'm going. I got to go with Jokic and the boys.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going with Jokic as well, bro. Like you just explained perfectly. Golden State has been playing fantastic, and Jimmy. We haven't seen what Jimmy Butler and Curry is, but we know what they can be. I just don't think. I think Jokic is gonna feast, bro. I just think he's gonna be a little bit too much for them. I don't. No one can really stop him in the league, and Golden State doesn't have. They're just gonna have to toss bodies at him essentially, and I think he'll be able to
Right.
dominate the whole
Yeah.
game.
They're gonna toss bodies. That's a perfect way. You don't even know who to put on this dude, bro. He's
Mm-hmm.
7'2", whatever, can hit 40%. He's averaging triple double. It's like a nightmare. It's
Mm-hmm.
a nightmare.
Yep. All right. So going into the next one, 4 and 5, your boys versus the Memphis Grizzlies. How are you feeling about that one?
Y'all seen it before. Give me the Lake Show. I'm not gonna lie, man. No BS. The Grizzlies are the perfect matchup for us because we are gonna torch them. We're gonna expose their defense. We're gonna make sure that they double Luca. LeBron's gonna be healthy. We got the pieces around us to be successful now. There's no going back. Now's the time. You know what I'm saying? And I think John Morant, those dudes over there, there's a lot of yapping, whatever, whatever. Ja don't have. He ain't really advanced past the first or second round. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like, there's still some work to be done. I think our experience will prevail, but it's going to come down to how well the Grizzlies guard. I think the Grizzlies, when they are at home, they're going to be very dangerous. So we have to make sure that we hopefully have the higher seed in the 4-5. So if there is a game 7, we can have that at home, because if not, we're gonna be in some muddy water because they have great defenders. I don't want to knock on the Grizzlies whatsoever. I think it'll be a battle. This one should be one of the more interesting ones of the first round. But
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with the Lake Show. I think LeBron, Luca, what they've been able to do the second half of the All Star break and kind of proven that they are a team to be reckoned with, and then the pieces that we have to be able to guard guys like John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, we have bodies to throw at these dudes who are gonna make it not easy. They're gonna make it pretty tough on Ja to get around and be free. And I know Jerry Vanderbilt has 5, 6 fouls to be able to give, so we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna use that for sure.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree, bro. I think this is gonna be a good matchup, but I think y'all will be able to win in probably like 6. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't y'all have LeBron and y'all have Luca. You know what I mean? So
Praying it's not a 7 game series, man. We need to get Luca healthy.
yeah, but yeah, I think y'all are able to win this series, bro.
Me too.
Yeah.
Confidently.
Going into the next one, then, man, this will actually be crazy for us for the pod. It'd be Thunder versus Lakers.
Yeah, I know it would. I think we will actually get it, but my team's gonna go home. Fortunately, we lack the defensive firepower to handle guys coming off the bench and giving us 20, and the Thunder have that up and down the roster. We continue to talk about their size, what they've been able to do all year, but when you throw the Chet in the mix, it's going to give Jackson Hayes a lot of issues. I think that's where those issues are going to sign. I think Luka's going to win us a game or two, right?
Oh,
It'll probably be
100%.
a 6 game series, but man, it's really tough to pick my team here. I think we just everywhere we struggle, the Thunder are strong in, and
Mm-hmm.
so when we want to, we're starting to try to shoot the better threes. We're trying to get out in transition. The Thunder have good transition defense. They can cover threes decently. They let opponents shoot them, but
Yes.
their coverage is decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, their defense is the best in the NBA, and so I
Mm-hmm.
think when you add that in a playoff picture, Dagnall scheming for Luca versus JJ Redick, it's gonna be a battle of basketball minds. But the Thunder should come out on top. I think Shea. This is where Shea shines. We're not gonna double him. Probably gonna play him straight up. We can't double because the Thunder have again just dangerous people on their team. So look for Shea to. This is a series. He's gonna get 30, 30,
Mm-hmm.
35.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I agree, bro. I think it'll probably be. My only thing is the fact that y'all don't have a like a big that is. I mean,
center
like we said, Jackson Hayes is doing great right now, but I just don't think
can't
that's
guard
enough.
Jet. Yeah,
he's not that whenever we have double big lineup in. I mean, y'all have great defenders that
I
are like
heart,
long
yeah,
lately, but I heart with Chet.
Caruso.
Yeah, I think like you said, it'll probably be 6, but it's gonna be good games. Y'all have the type of players that can win y'all one game alone or a couple games alone. I just think, like you said, the depth of the Thunder is gonna be hard for y'all to compete with, because come playoff time, that's really what it comes down to. Obviously, we know what our stars can do, but it's really what the bench has done. And I think the Thunder have proven that all season that we're a solid 10 deep, and we're able to have these players hop off the bench and score in
Yeah,
spurts,
bro,
and that's what really what makes the
it pains
difference.
me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
damn, yeah,
we
we
need
probably
we
would lose to the
we
Thunder.
need that series though. That would be fire,
That would be
honestly,
fire for the pod for sure.
for the
I hope we
pod.
get that.
Yes, sir. So, all right, the next matchup then we got Minnesota versus Denver.
I'm taking Denver here. I think this is where Minnesota's road ends.
Okay.
Jamal Murray, Jokic. I think last season they're going to be like, man, we lost to the Timberwolves. We don't want that to happen again. They look different too. We can go out there and beat them. And I think that's going to get. I think they're actually going to win in like 5 games. This series might be more quicker. Like it's going to be done quicker than not.
Mm.
So I think the Nuggets are prepared for a team like the Timberwolves. They have the roster. Um, and I just think Jokic again is going to prevail here and just being a dominant force that really bothers Gobert and kind of disallows his ability to rim protect. And that's going to give Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun, all these other players opportunities to score. And that's really what makes Jokic so great is like he's going to draw Rudy Gobert away from the paint, but that gives a bunch of other people opportunities. Yeah. So
Yeah. No,
give
yeah, I
me give me the
agree.
Nuggets.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I think, like you said, that Minnesota is a dark horse for sure, but I don't think, especially going off of last season, this is a rematch of the second round last year, and I think that probably will have a lot to do with, oh, yeah, we're not going to lose this to this team again. And Jokic is
Exactly.
playing at it all worldly
Extremely high
level.
level. Yeah,
Yes, and
bro.
I just don't know. Like you said, the having Rudy Gobert having to guard him is going to be such a hard assignment for him because he's going to pull him out of the paint, like you said,
He
and that
tortured him
just
last
creates
year. Yeah.
and it's going to create more opportunities for everyone else. So I think Jokic will be able to handle those boys.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he's gonna be the deciding factor in a lot of these series.
yep. And so Western Conference Finals and the MVP frontrunners, we have Oklahoma City versus Denver. What are you thinking about
Yeah,
that matchup?
yeah. This is where, like I said, this is what it comes down to. This is where the Thunder get it done. Uh, I have high hopes for this team. I think anything other than a finals appearance, they don't have to win. They do not have to win. Get so you can put this on the record. I think if the Thunder go to the finals, it's a success, even if they don't win. Because I think they're gonna go back. I think they have the team to do it again. So I think they're gonna win because of their ability to actually guard Jokic. They have the team to do so. They have the personnel. I think Chet can bother him. Chet is also a similar player to Jokic in terms of he's going to make Jokic play defense, which is going to make him tired. Gobert, no offense to Gobert, but he doesn't have the offensive skill set that Chet has. Or the Warriors, they don't have a center that has that offensive skill set. So when you add that into the picture with the defense, I think it's going to give the Nuggets problems because their other role players struggle. When Jokic struggles, because when Jokic struggles, that means that they can't get open. They can't do what they normally do. And that's why I think the Nuggets' plan is a bit flawed and just surrounding players around one person in terms of trying to figure out other players that play well off Jamal Murray, not just whatever. So it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. It's kind of like you can stick whoever player around Jokic and then it goes well. But I think this is where Shea dominates the game too, in terms of just taking it by the throat and really being the next player that's you know the face of the NBA. I think.
Yeah, yeah, no, man. I
Yeah.
think
Thunder Cavs.
this is gonna be a war, bro. Like I think this is probably gonna go 7. I know that we've seen the last couple games between the Nuggets and the Thunder, and kind of those games were just playoff atmosphere alone. And I feel like we definitely have enough to beat them. It's just who is, like I've been saying all season, who is going to be that other second player to be able to step up, because if Shea struggles, or even if Shea gets his but someone else isn't able to step up to the plate and perform, it's like questions, you know what I mean? But I think, like you
Yeah.
said, I have high hopes for us, and I've been saying it all season. I'm waiting for the playoffs, and I think come this time, I think we just have the Nuggets have been great, and their role players have been playing fantastic. I just don't think they have as much as the Thunder do.
Yeah,
On,
they don't have as much juice, right?
but
Right.
you know that being said, Jokic alone can carry them to at
Yeah,
least 2-3 games. You know what I mean? So
I'd
I
say
think
a
it's gonna go.
solid 2 games for
I
sure.
I think it's gonna be a 7 game series, bro. But I think we'll be able to advance to the finals for the first time since 2012, bro.
Wow. Yeah, both of those teams haven't been in a long time that I have
Hmm.
up there. So yours was there last year, but obviously the Cavs haven't been in a long time. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping for Thunder Cavs, and yeah, I'm not really sure who'd win that one.
Yeah,
That's the point of the NBA Finals, right?
yeah, bro. That's
We did
that's
the
a
playoff picture, guys.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
There it
Finals
is.
is a whole different story.
Yeah, the
That's its
finals is
own
a whole
podcast.
different story.
Yeah,
That's a whole separate topic because, yeah, that's different
yeah. But no,
for
yeah, that
sure.
was great, bro. Is
There it
you
is.
know, if y'all enjoyed that portion, that was a playoff little picture as of right now. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
have the ZD has the Cavs versus Thunder, and I have the Celtics versus Thunder. And like we're saying, it's finals alone, like could be its own pod, and we could kind of dig deep
Yeah,
into
that's
everything.
different.
But we'll just leave y'all off with that, that little cliffhanger for y'all. Hopefully, obviously all the matchups and stuff on the Eastern Conference pretty much set, but the West is still up in the air. So more than likely they'll be different, but that was our little playoff picture for y'all.
100%. That was fire. That was fire. I think coming up here, I want you to get back to the game you're going to be watching soon, but what bets you got for us today, man?
Yeah, betting segment, right?
Yeah.
Didn't do too hot last time. Went 1 for 2, so this time I'm just sticking with two. And I think you'll enjoy this. One of my picks, sir. I got AR over 25.5 points.
Half points. I love that. He's going to have to, or else we're not this game isn't going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's been averaging like almost 30 over his last 5 games. Luca continues to praise him on and off the court. He's like, I'm surprised this dude went undrafted. Unbelievable.
Yes,
Like
we all
unbelievable.
are,
So
Luca. We all are.
yeah, everybody is. So to CJ's point, he's been awesome all year. This person is not like he's gonna go out there and take shots. So for people who are scared about betting on AR, like don't be. He's solid. He's
Right.
him.
And then my next
I
one,
like that.
sir. I got Cade Cunningham over points and assists, 34.5.
Ooh. Who are they playing? I didn't
The
even see
Heat.
that one.
They playing the Heat right
Oh,
now.
they're playing the Heat right now. Okay,
Right.
I love those two, man. I wish I could
Yes.
tell you on. I think AR I can tell you, but Cade, no sir.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I'm going to the Wizards and Jazz game for mine for the first one, bro. I'm taking
Okay.
Jordan Poole over 15.5 points. It's at minus 125. I feel like he's been saucy with it. He had a game winner a couple nights ago, but against teams like the Jazz, you can expect him to go out there, play 20, 25, 30 minutes. And if he goes out there, man, he recently hasn't been scoring as much, but I feel like he's going to be looking to shoot some threes tonight. So give me that one. I felt like that one was speaking to me. But this
Okay.
other one
Okay.
is on the Lakers, and I'm taking my boy Luca for 30, and then I'm taking Jokic points and rebounds over 40.5 for a little plus 180 parlay. So if you want to tell me on that, go ahead, put it down. I feel like Luca's going to be Luca, especially at home. The Nuggets don't really tend to double too much, but I think he tends to get off to a really hot start and kind of quiets down as the game goes on. But I think that's kind of where Austin Reeves comes in, and he's more of a supplemental piece that is going to be scoring around Doncic. But Jokic is going to feast in the paint tonight. I know you like that one. If you want to take that one straight, we don't have a center who's going to be able to box him out or guard him. And so I think that's really, if we're not defending in the way that we were last game, I think there's going to be a ton of issues tonight. And Jokic, the reason I'm betting on him is he's not going out there and getting a 12-point triple double today. He's going for he remembers.
Yeah, yeah, no, bro, I like that. I think I'm gonna tell you on those two.
Man, all right, yeah. JP is the interesting one, but I feel like he doesn't get the like. He's been great this year, dude. No chatter, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Poole's been a lot better. The Wizards aren't great, but he's been way better. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's definitely good. I want to get that out of the way. But man, bro, you ready? You ready to talk about this second team All NBA, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Let's
you
get
trying to go
into it.
through it?
Yeah.
Okay, vet. Yeah, so if you guys don't remember, you guys haven't been with us. We did it a couple episodes ago because we did most improved player last time. But the NBA has all NBA teams, and it kind of gives recognition to the best players. Across the league, they make three of them, and there's obviously it's a roster, so there's only five guys on there. And we did the third team last time, CJ, but we're doing a second team today, bro. So I'll obviously start from the bottom up. The way that it works is like the last player on this list is kind of like the last player they had in the way that they were structuring it. But for us, I'll start it off hot, man. I'm going with Karl Anthony Towns out of the New York Knicks. Um, this dude's he's been awesome. I think
Yeah.
he's second in rebounds, something like that. He's been super efficient this year, but for me, he just seems to be playing with a lot more joy. And he's been one of the better centers in the NBA. I think he's better than Sabonis, who we had on the third team. To me, without Embiid, he's probably been the second best center that we have in the NBA that's not named Nikola Jokic. So that kind of simplifies it right there. But I think the Knicks are a third seed for a reason. They've been competing all year, and he's been the main reason for that. And obviously, they have a couple other guys who are special on that team, so I think it gives them a ton of juice whenever Cat is playing well. But he's had a tremendous season, bro. So I gotta have him on the list, bro, for sure. I don't know if you have any other thoughts you wanted to add to it, but
Nah, bro,
I know
you
you like to bet
explained.
on him, bro.
Yeah, nah, that's one of my people I've been betting on all season. So yeah, I agree, bro. He's
Yeah,
been
he's been
balling
money.
out. Mm-hmm.
For sure. Gotta show Cat the big bodega some love. But
Yup.
this next player, man, Timberwolves superstar, been amazing all year. Like you said, getting up 12 threes a game, shooting 40%. Um, bro, Anthony Edwards. I mean, what you think about how Ant's been playing?
Bro, ridiculous. Honestly, I feel like this is the type of jump that we were like hoping to see going into this season. You know what I mean? Like we didn't really know how we were gonna see how he's playing without Cat, but we've seen that him shooting more threes and making them at an elite level. It's been
Yeah, bro.
probably the bet the
Averaging 28 points, bro.
yes.
6 boards, 6 assists, 40%. He like CJ's saying, he's pretty much been everything the Timberwolves could ask for and more. And he just continues to rise, man. I think Ant's been increasing his points per game every single season, pretty much. And this year it's almost at 30. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets close to 30 next year. But
Mm,
yeah, Anthony Edwards is definitely solidly going to be an All NBA caliber player. So look for him to be on that second team for sure. Hey, but
mm.
this next one, bro, this next one I want to hear your thoughts on, bro, because I want to see if you agree. But I got Kevin Durant.
I'm not
What you
mad at it,
think?
bro. I'm not mad at it.
Okay, for sure. I just wanted to see, man, because some people be hating on KD, but I have his stats pulled up. I think he's almost at 50-40-90.
Mm.
But he's like just missing it. But for those who don't know, bro, Kevin Durant at age 37, okay, mind you, this dude's old. He's averaging 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. He's shooting 52% from the field. And let's see his split from deep. What is it from deep?
It
It's good.
is
37%,
42.
40%.
Yes.
So I
That's
think,
why I'm like I'm
yeah,
not mad at that, bro. Like numbers
yeah.
wise, he's having one of his best
Yeah, his free throws are
efficiency.
actually what's killing him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's not at 90%.
No, he's not.
So yeah, that's the only thing that's keeping him 50-40-90. But outside of that, KD's been the only reason, and Booker, of course, that the Suns have had any life this year. And it's it's hard not to put him on this list when you hear the stats. And
Yeah.
he's getting to that games played limit, but he's at 56 games right now. If he goes the rest of the year, he'll easily clear that. I think he's got 9 more games before he qualifies. So
Hmm.
Durant's been healthy the last 2 seasons. There's really no more talk about that.
Hmm.
So that's also another a key thing as well is he's been in the lineup, he's been contributing. So got to shout out KD, man, for sure,
Easy money
for sure.
sniper.
Easy money sniper. But bro, next person on this list is kind of crazy. He's not gonna be on first team because those guys are just astronomically insane. But
Hmm.
bro, Donovan Mitchell. I mean, what can you say? Averaging 25 points, shooting almost 40% from deep as well. 4 assists, 5 boards. He hasn't the numbers aren't going to blow you away, but what he's been able to do for the Cavaliers, I think, speaks volumes of how they've been able to play as a team. And him taking a step back in the offensive role, his usage rate's still high, but scoring a little bit less to do more in the other places. These defensive stats have improved a lot. I think that's also going to help him out as well. I think he's averaging like a steal a game right now. But Donovan Mitchell's been pretty much the answer to the Cavaliers, questions. I
Hmm.
feel like he's really been able to give them, a solid foundation piece to build around, and clearly he's been able to ring the bell, bro. He's no stranger to pressure. He seems to revel in it, and it's gonna be rewarded by the NBA. I think the Cavaliers have had an amazing season. You're gonna see Mobley, you're gonna see Mitchell on these lists because they deserve to be there, and he's second too. He could be a
Hmm.
first team All NBA player, but he's just right, not yet there.
Yeah, right
Um,
there.
right there.
If his numbers were like you said, more like eye catching, then he
Eye
probably would
catching,
be.
he would be
Yeah.
first team
If he
for
was
sure.
averaging like 28 or something like that, then for sure.
Yeah, bro, for sure. Um, but man, this last dude, honestly, I didn't think he would be as high on this list as he is, but it's Jalen Brunson, bro, and no stranger to it. Like you're not surprised. He's the captain of New York, bro. So uh, anytime they need a bucket, I think you said it. You think he's gonna be clutch player of the year most likely because he's I think he's leading the league in clutch points right now. So he's pretty
Hmm.
much been um, everything the Knicks can ask for and more over the last couple seasons. But again, just read off the stats. He's giving you 27 a game, 8 assists, bro, and he's shooting almost 50% from the field and 85% from the line. So when you add that into what Cat's been able to do, and you add that with Brunson, I think they're the only team to have 2 players on All NBA list. I think the
Hmm.
Cavs have Mobley. We had it,
Yeah,
13.
Mobley was on 13.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like on the same place, bro, it's crazy to have Brunson and Cat on your team because they are definitely all NBA players for
Hmm.
sure. And Brunson's probably been the best on that list in terms of what he's been able to do in the assist department, and then the scoring too has always been consistent with him. I think he's right there.
Hmm.
But yeah, KD has had a crazy season, man. I hope he makes it for sure.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
think he will. I think he's going to, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, even it
Yep.
like the success of the Suns hasn't been that great this season, but just the numbers he's been putting up at his age, and that the whole situation that's been going on in Phoenix for the past couple of seasons, it's what I mean. He's been the one that's been solid for them, so I'm not mad at
Yeah,
it.
I
Like I
think
said,
if I'm not mistaken, my ghost team. Okay, never mind. Never mind. There's a Laker in there for sure. I just had to make sure I remembered Braun. I was like, bro, like, did we forget Braun? But we didn't.
we didn't.
Braun's
But
there.
yeah,
I
bro.
was just like, oh gosh, like if Braun's not on the second team, he must be.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%,
Unless
100%,
he
bro.
misses these games, dude. Like, fuck,
Yeah,
man.
is he getting close to the limit?
Kind of. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks.
Let me check. Let me see.
I think so. That's why I brought that up.
LeBron James. He's played. Oh, what the fuck? 58 games.
Okay, so he's
So he,
he's
he
he's
needs.
close to it, but he'll
He's.
be there.
I
I
think
think he'll be
he's
there.
gonna make that limit for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see, bro. I think dude, the playoff picture was sick.
Yeah.
Obviously the all NBA team too, man. Brunson, Mitchell, we got Durant, we got Ant, we got Cat. So it's pretty simple. That's a pretty good list to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro, this was a banger episode, bro. We had a lot. We covered a whole bunch in this one, so it was a banger. I loved it.
Sure.
Yeah, was
Yeah,
there
same, bro. I appreciate
anything
your
else
time.
that you want the audience to know before we head out?
Nah, man, just RIP Kobe, man. Keep doing you, for sure.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
pushing every day.
Well, if y'all liked and enjoyed this episode, Three Man Weave, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time, man. Peace. Three man, three man, three man.